I'll start mine as well now. So we all should be good to go. Just rolled to the top of the hour. So everyone, welcome to the Lunenburg Conservation Commission meeting for October 2nd, 2024. We'll read through our script in accordance with the requirements of the open meetings law. Please be advised that this meeting is being audio and video recorded. The agenda lists all of the topics which may be discussed at the meeting and those that are reasonably anticipated by the chair. Votes may be taken as a result of these discussions, and not all items listed may in fact be discussed. Other items not listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by the open meetings law. Please address all comments to the chair, that would be me. This meeting of the Conservation Commission will be held by Zoom at the link provided in the notice. And for anybody that's joining us with Facebook Live or streaming that would like to join us via Zoom, the meeting ID is 853-4264-2102. And as always, I would encourage members of the public to download the agenda from the lunenburgmass.gov calendar because you can just click on the link there. We will start out with a roll call vote. Jenny?
Present.
Rich is not here.
You have your sound off.
Jeff?
Present.
Mike?
Present.
Chris?
Present.
Very good. Do we have any announcements by members of the commission? Okay, and I'm not seeing any. If we have any comments from members of the public, those are welcome. I ask that comments be limited to 3 minutes, and they must be on a subject matter that's directly under the jurisdiction of the Conservation Commission. Comments about current agenda items are to be made during the comment period of that specific agenda item. So for any of the hearings, please hold your comments until that time. Please address all comments to the chair, that would be me. And for all public comment, please state your name and your address. For those of us that maybe aren't as familiar with Zoom or the protocol, I encourage people to raise their hand along the periphery of your Zoom window, depending on what your operating system is. That may be at the bottom, it may be at the top. Right, so we don't appear to have any public comment, so we'll move on. Minutes from previous meetings, September 18th. Have those been distributed, Sophie?
No.
September 18th. I didn't
No.
Yeah. Okay, so then we don't have any meeting minutes to approve. So appointments, it looks like we have a office equipment WPA appointment, Sophie.
Yeah, so I just wanted to inquire and bring it to the commission's attention that I am struggling in the office to conduct certain parts of my job, like taking soil samples, because I don't have the proper equipment. One would be the auger, the soil auger that extracts the core so that I can actually visually see the different layers of soil. I kind of priced that one out roughly between I guess 160 on the cheaper end to almost up to 190. And that would be out of the WPA revolving account. The other piece of equipment, my boots have finally died, essentially. I'm getting blisters, and today I had water coming into my boot. So I would also request some boots that are waterproof to an extent. They don't have to be anything fancy, but just something so that I can actively be in the field and not being in pain or hypothermic. So those, it really depends on what's available and what's in my size, but I think I priced those out to somewhere between 60 and 90. So,
Okay, so you've got one request. So Sophie, you had a boots proposal not to exceed 90, and then a auger proposal not to exceed what?
I would say not to exceed 200, just kind of thinking about taxes and
Okay. And
office
then
fees.
it's unusual for you to have to come to the Conservation Commission and make these requests. I assume that your manager or someone is saying that you need to.
So yes, um, when I was working in Gardner, that was the protocol for their
Mm-hmm.
commission. Um, I needed some specific equipment, and so I went to them and they voted on, approving a certain amount. And I spoke to the building commissioner when he was acting as my superior a little while ago, and it was also briefly discussed with Chris. Um, and so that was kind of the direction I was given. And then I was also speaking with Jenny, and she gave a little bit of input that it should come out of the WPA account.
Versus any of the other accounts.
I think it's the general budget that is funded by the overall fees that come in.
Okay. Okay. So
I can't focus.
I'm fine with making accepting a motion to accept that, right? A motion, a second, and a vote. But I think moving forward, I'll try to talk to Chris. This is not something that this is generally that account has been managed by the office and the office management staff. Um, so I'm accepting a motion to approve $290 for office staff technical equipment.
So moved. Mike?
Thank you, Mike.
Second?
Thank you, Jenny. Roll call vote. Chris,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
Jenny,
Aye.
and I for myself. And I think also, Sophie, moving forward, let's put agenda items like that on the business portion of the agenda. Okay,
Okay.
very good. And have we had any requests for continuation for any of the hearings that aren't already noted there?
No.
Okay. And did 171 Arbor Street confirm for tonight?
Yes. Yes, I did reach out and they confirmed they were going to be here.
Okay. Well, then we'll step through the agenda in the order that it's outlined here. I'll read the scripts. Pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, as amended in the Town of Lunenburg Wetlands Protection and Municipal Bylaws, a public hearing for a request for determination of applicability to Paul J. and Lois Block, represented by Matthew Proctor, for the installation of a 30-foot by 30-inch wide stepping stone pathway from the dwelling to the existing dock on Hickory Hills Lake all to be built without the use of heavy equipment. The proposed work will span the 30-foot buffer zone at 451 Townsend Harbor Road. Do we have the residents and or their representative here with us tonight?
Yes. Can you hear me, Madam
I
Chair?
can, yes.
Yep. So yeah, Matt Proctor, 180 Hemlock Drive, here to represent for the stepping stone pathway.
Matt, hang on just a minute. I'm
Yep,
sorry to interrupt you. I
Yep.
just noticed that Mike LaRoche had his hand up.
Absolutely.
Madam Chair, I would like to recuse myself from participating in this application at this time.
Thank you for that, Mike. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, Matt. And I do have Paul Block. You have your hand up, Paul.
Or just to say that we're present.
Oh, okay. Very good. Yeah, thank you. Paul and Matt. Okay, Matt, back to you. Take us through this project.
Sure. Well, I don't have screen share for you. So I don't know if there's anything that you want to pull up for a visual aid on it. But yeah, so basically looking to do a stepping stone pathway. They're about 2-inch thick stones, bluestone material, regular flagging, grass space between each stone, not to exceed 30 inches wide. They're just going to kind of meander from the steps on the back porch over to the boat dock, try to keep, people's feet out of the grass and those kind of things, give them a hard surface. To walk to the boat, like I said, there'll be full space around each stone. It's not a steep slope. I don't foresee it causing any water to run any differently than it would across the grass. And it's not a continuous hard surface to the water as well. No heavy equipment to be used. This is all bring things out with dollies, just kind of hand dig and just put them flush in with the ground, as is, to get to the boat dock. That's what we're looking to accomplish.
Very good. I did have the opportunity to go out there and walk the property this weekend with Jenny and Mike, and it does look just as straightforward as you have articulated. And yeah, I'd say it's a relatively flat surface as well. I didn't have any concerns. I'll open the floor to other members of the commission. Anybody have questions? And I'm not seeing any. Jenny, yes.
I was just going to say I also didn't have any concerns with this one. It looks very straightforward.
Thank you, Jenny. Do we have any comments from members of the public? And I'm not seeing any. So I think I'm looking for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Thank you, Chris.
Second.
Thank you, Jenny. Roll call vote. Chris.
Aye.
Mike's recused. Jeff.
Aye.
Jenny.
Aye.
And I for myself. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Moving along. Pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40 is amended in the Town of Lunenburg's Wetlands Protection and Municipal Bylaws. A public hearing on a notice of intent by Daniel Hernandez, represented by Dillis and Roy Civil Design Group, for the proposal of a garage addition, removal of vegetation, and structural renovations to a single-family dwelling. The proposed work is within the 100-foot buffer zone of a bordering vegetated wetland and a 200-foot riparian zone of an intermittent stream at 48 Island Road. Do we have the applicant and or their representative here with us tonight?
Madam Chair, Greg Roy with Dillson Roy, representing the applicant this evening. I did see my client on earlier, but I do not see him at the moment. So that's just for record. So as you mentioned, I am representing Mr. Hernandez and family at 48 Island Road. And the property is
Why
quite
don't,
small. It's 22,000.
why don't we try, let me see if I can permit you to share.
Oh yeah, I wasn't even
Greg.
going to ask.
Well, I was going to see if I could just do it on an individual basis.
Like the hosts always have the ability to share. I don't know if you wanted to just
Yeah,
pull
I'll
it up.
make you momentarily co-host.
Oh, okay. Okay, let me see if I can share. Okay, how about that?
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, so the property lines are shown in dark, black, heavy, bold. Those are the extents of the property. There is a bordering vegetated wetland on the northeasterly corner of the site. It's denoted with these green wetland flags, and it's a light green hatch. It's kind of hard to see. And then there is an unnamed stream that traverses along the northeasterly corner within the wetland area that does have a 200-foot riverfront area associated with it. The limits of your 30-foot no disturb zone are shown on the plan with this dashed, with this dotted line right here. Goes down through the site like this. And then the 50 is the next line here. And then the entire property, the 100-foot buffer zone, is located off property. So the entire site is located within the 100-foot buffer zone. The inner 100-foot riverfront area is this blue line right here that traverses the site. The 200-foot is another 100 feet past, and the entire property is located within the 200-foot zone. So there's an existing house, as was mentioned, which is shown here in the light hatch area, cross hatching area here. There's a driveway at the front of the site, which is sort of an H shape, if you will. And the property is, I guess, run down, also I'll call it. The Hernandez family has actually purchased it. They're looking to renovate it for their own personal use. And they're proposing to do several improvements to the property. First is the areas that we're showing in red would actually be removed. So those projections of the structure in those areas are going to be removed. This back bump out here would actually just be reconstructed almost in the same place. But there's some work that needs to be done. Those bump outs are just kind of too far degraded to save, so they're going to be doing removal, and in this case replacement. Over here, this is sort of a shed that's been attached to the building, and they're going to take that off and not reconstruct it. And then in the front is really where the new additions are going, and those are both going in areas that have already been developed as driveway. So it's basically a conversion of driveway surface to roof. Where the existing garage has historically been, they're going to be converting that space into living area and putting in a new entryway, which is this smaller rectangle here, and then building and constructing a new 2-car garage in this location, which is the larger of the 2 rectangles here. The other portion of the project is they're looking to remove 6 trees from the site and to flatten off the area in this area of the site with the construction of a short retaining wall along the property line shown here in gray, and then removal of these 6 trees that are shown with the red circles. 5 of them are deciduous, and 1 of them is a pine tree. We are showing some proposed mitigation plantings that are these smaller green circles here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, pursuant to your regulations for mitigation plantings with with tree removals. We have included those in the plan. I wanted to be fairly brief this evening. I know I'm sure that several of the commission members may have been on site. We also received DEP comments relative to riverfront area metrics. The intention is to comply with the Rivers Act, of course. I just think we need to quantify that to the department and to your commission. But really, there's not a lot of new alteration proposed. I guess arguably you could call this work on the side here alteration, but it's really removing 3 trees and sort of flattening out the grade. It's not as if we're permanently encumbering that portion with new structures or new impervious area. In fact, we're reducing the amount of impervious area on the site when you take it all in aggregate, with the reduction of and removal of some of the building protrusions, I'll call them, on the site. And the significant new building additions are being done in areas that are already improved as driveway surfaces. So I wanted to acknowledge the DEP comments and also just I guess take any questions. Well, the other thing I wanted to say was this project also required zoning board relief. We did appear before the zoning board several weeks back, and they did give us the dimensional variation relief that we needed to construct the proposed garage addition as you see it. So not that impacts your commission, but I do like to give just an overall viewpoint of the overall permitting that we've been working on. So I think that's it, Madam Chair. I'm happy to take any questions or any comments from the commission.
So I do have a couple of questions. Looking at the DEP comments, how does your proposed alterations stack up? Because they noted that there's 20,538 square feet of riverfront on the site. The allowances for 10% in the inner riparian zone, which would be 2,054 square feet, right? And I don't know how much of that is already existing, right, versus what you're proposing to add on.
Right. So I don't have numbers for you this evening. I realize we have to document that. I think there's also been some discussion about the trees that are proposed to be removed. So we were just interested in coming tonight to get your comments, understanding that we probably need a few weeks here to clean up those and effectively address them. So there's a 10% threshold. So the basic performance standard of the Rivers Act is you're allowed 10% alteration within the portion of the site that is riverfront. So you calculate the amount of area that's riverfront, and you're allowed 10% or 5,000 square feet, whichever is greater. So in this case, because it's a small lot, the threshold would actually be 5,000 square feet. And so we need to do analysis for you and a tabular analysis, I think, a Rivers analysis on that metric. There's also other provisions on a redevelopment site where if areas of the site are degraded, quote unquote degraded, then that's kind of a term that's defined in a specific manner. You can actually work on those in those portions of the site that have been previously degraded, even if it's over the 10% or 5,000 square foot rule. But we need to document those areas. So
yeah, that's my understanding as well.
Yeah.
But it's also my understanding that if you were at the threshold that was previously disturbed, you would not be able to add to that disturbance. So you don't get to come back and do another 10% each time.
Yeah, that's right. Unless it falls under the original 10% or 5,000. So we need to clean that up.